All right, folks, another day, another episode. Wrapping this one up, How to Save the World, Part 5. And changing up the video format a little bit. Going to experiment with a less formal format. This whole channel is an experiment in how to benefit people the most with video. I've tried this kind of streamer, PowerPoint kind of style. We'll see what a different format, what kind of benefits that brings us. So, now post Ottawa, that happened. That was really cool. People are booging all over the world. The Dutch are doing their thing. The Americans are doing their thing. They're all mad. There's the thing in Russia, Ukraine, right? Sri Lanka. There's all these crazy, like the British government, half of them quit the other day. There's turmoil everywhere, right? Um, Things are getting chaotic, and that doesn't necessarily mean bad, right? Prepare yourself, whatever you think you need to prepare, then just trust your gut. But doesn't necessarily mean, we're going to be at an all-out war. I personally don't think that's going to happen. I think, people don't have an appetite for it, and I think all the problems we have are being solved behind the scenes and below the water. That said, it's on all of us to solve those problems. So post Ottawa, a lot of people were kind of blindsided. They were like, "Well, what's going on?" And I've talked about this in previous videos, but basically, we're in we've been in this period where wherever my hands are, we've been in this period where um, people have kind of like a lot of people have like kept up with the convoys and the protests and whatever, and it doesn't, it's to me, I was like, okay, well, we did it once, and that did the maximum impact, and it was novel, and it was cool, and it made the news, and that's made a huge impact for people. So for me, I was like, okay, well, what happens next? And it's like, okay, well, we've got this massive number of people awake now, like way more than before, and it's more every day as they kind of process through what happened in Ottawa, where people just essentially disavowed the government. They were like, hey, you don't represent us, so you better smarten up. So we had all these new people awake, and that means the problems to be solved are shifting, right? Like, I'm not out, for me personally, I'm not out rallying and trying to wake people up because they're already awake. What I'm trying to do is create structures for them to, uh, you know, make use of their new awakenedness, right? Like alternatives to the mainstream, because the mainstream is not good for us in the general sense. Again, there's good things they do, but for the most part, they've become pretty toxic, and they're doing a lot of damaging stuff, like injecting people with poison. So keep solving problems. So post Ottawa, um, I've been working on the Freedom app to the point where it's attracted. I'm now working with a whole team. We're merging jobless jobs in the Freedom app, and we're building a new version of the site. That's very exciting. So that's kind of my personal thing. But that all came from not getting distracted with what was going on in Ottawa and keeping in my lane and kind of watching the battlefield shifting and saying, okay, well, people are going to need this more than ever, right? Like the vaccine mandates, the government's updating the definition of what fully vaccinated means, which means they're not doing away with the mandates. They're probably going to bring it back. Same with masks and all that stuff. But now there's going to be way more people who are not going to follow along. So they're going to need directories of like who thinks like them. They're going to want to find this community that is us, and they're going to want to go away from their past community once that community starts oppressing them again, starts giving them vaccine mandates and all this stuff. So we need to be ready for them. Keep being wrong. So I went through a whole period this spring where I was in a pretty weird spot. I questioned a lot of things. Question, was I doing the right thing? Am I a crazy person? What's the right way to go about it? And it was a pretty depressed period, but it came out. I came out with a renewed conviction, some different direction. But it's okay. It's actually beneficial to be wrong. It's the best thing to be wrong, because then you either win or you learn, right? To be cliche. So definitely good to learn. Everything is new pretty much right now. Like the rules are all gone, so we've kind of got to figure out what rules actually apply in nature and what was just fake that the government tried to convince us of. And that comes with experiments and being wrong. And keep focused on solving problems close to your heart. So this is the most important, is if it's not close to your heart, you're just trying to, generally in my experience, if I'm not close to my own heart, I'm just trying to please someone else, which never ends well. So thanks, guys. Always remember, generosity creates abundance. So please go out, be generous, and share this video with one person you think would benefit.